Hello, everyone. Carrie Richardson here. I'm a mindset coach, clutter whisperer, and author of a couple books, What Your Clutter is Trying to Tell You, and From Clutter to Clarity. And I'm jumping on for a quick Q&A. I want to talk a bit about my radical decluttering video course that starts next week, Wednesday, April 20th. So I want to jump on here and talk a little bit about what is in the course, what's so radical about my approach to decluttering, because it's very different than probably anything else you've heard. And that's intentional because as a mindset coach, I like to go to the source of the issue. My whole life, I've always been kind of a bottom liner, like kind of cutting through the BS and getting right to what is at the core of what's going on. That's what I love helping people to do in my practice. And that's what I've been doing with people for about 17 years now, to help people just change their mindset, change how they think about things, see things in a whole new perspective. It's really difficult to do when you are close to your own stuff. And that's why it's so beneficial to have someone outside who can see things in a way that you likely can't. And so that's the approach I take to clutter clearing. Now, I define clutter as anything that gets in the way of you living your best life. Thoughts, things, or people. I know when you hear clutter, you automatically think of, crowded closets or overflowing bookcases or stacks of paper on your countertop. And yes, of course, that's clutter, right? But is it simple clutter or is it stubborn clutter? Simple clutter is just that. It's the type of clutter that you want to get rid of and you can do it pretty easily. Or is it stubborn? You've been talking about doing it for a long time, but can't seem to get yourself to take action, to actually do it. That's stubborn clutter. And it's in that there's a message. I like to call stubborn clutter like a temper tantrum of the soul. What is your soul trying to communicate to you through the stubborn clutter that you struggle to let go of? That's what we dive into in the Radical Decluttering course. We go into the message in the mess. What's going on underneath? You might be able to, make some progress on the things that you want to do, but there's still that, maybe you've made some progress and it comes back. And it's like, man, it feels like it's one step forward, two steps back. That's because there's a message there that you've yet to address. So I want to help you see what's going on under the stuff. And it can really be dependent on where your clutter tends to accumulate. If it's in your kitchen, in your bedroom, in your office, in your relationships, on your body, wherever your clutter tends to accumulate, that can tell you something about what's working in your life and what's not. Also, the type of clutter you tend to accumulate: paperwork, clothes, gifts and heirlooms, weight on your body, whatever it might be. That has a lot to tell you about what's really going on, what your soul is calling out for. So in this course, it's a 6-week video course where I take you through practical hands-on action where you will literally clear some clutter, but all the while with that kind of theme running underneath about what's really going on with the stuff. And so I'm going to have you do some mindset work. I'm going to have you challenge your thinking. I'm going to have you get uncomfortable by getting your hands on some clutter you've probably been avoiding for a long time. It is in that discomfort that we can hear those soul messages that we are so adept at silencing and ignoring and distracting ourselves from and numbing out to, right? So I want to help you in a very safe, compassionate way to get uncomfortable and to approach clearing the obstacles in your life from curiosity and compassion instead of criticism and shame. This is a no shame game here. And what's so cool in this course is you come together with lots of like-minded trailblazers who are on the same page, who are feeling the same way, and who love to offer support and get support. So it's a very supportive environment. There's live video lessons weeks 1 through 5. Week 6, I save for a big open Q&A and live coaching session. It's a great way to cap off the course and answer any questions that remain from the modules that you worked through. Because every week when I teach the lesson, you also get a workbook to implement your learning right away. Because I don't want this course to be clutter for you. It's the last thing I want. So I want to help you actually do something with what you learn. In between the video lessons, we have an awesome supportive community on Facebook. It's a private group just for your class. And so that's where we go in between the lessons to keep the learning and the support going. I'm in there regularly offering tips, advice, coaching, support, encouragement, celebration. It's a beautiful way to continue to work on this. So the Facebook community is beautiful. The class starts on Wednesday, April 20th. It meets every Wednesday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Time. All of the lessons are recorded. So if you can't make it live, totally okay. I've had lots of people take this class and not be able to attend the live lessons. They still get a ton out of it through watching the replay and also coming into the Facebook group for the additional support. So replays for every lesson are made available to you within 24 hours of the class, which is pretty darn good. And you have lifetime access to the class. Like, how awesome is that? So, because I can't tell you how amazing it is to watch a module, listen to a lesson, long after the first time you did it, and the different things you take away from it. I hear from students a lot who are graduates of this course from years ago who are like, wow, I went back, I was feeling really stuck with making progress with my clutter, and then I remembered I got to get back to that lesson where you talked about how to get good at getting started. And I watched it and I can't believe I missed this point and that point because you weren't in a place then to hear it. So it's awesome how you can keep learning things the many times that you watch those replays. So that is really kind of what's radical about my approach to decluttering. It's not about cracking the whip and having you push through the discomfort, having you ignore or pay no mind to the uncomfortable feelings that are coming up. We want to welcome them in and get into conversation with them because that's where the long-standing solution lies. If I just have you put out fires, like, okay, this week I want you to just suck it up, push through, and organize your kitchen cabinets, you might get it done if you don't want to disappoint teacher, right? But it's not going to stay that way, and you're not going to understand why you struggled in the first place. I am all about building a solid foundation. My goal is to help you build such a solid foundation that you can soar on your own forever and ever, right? My job as a coach is to coach you so well that you don't need me anymore. Now, will your clutter ever be done? No, and I'm sorry to say that, but no one's clutter is ever done, nor do we want it to be. Because how I define clutter is anything that gets in the way, right? Anything at all. So your limited thinking, when you reach one of those upper limit challenges, when you've taken your life to a certain level, but you want more and you cannot seem to break through that ceiling, that's clutter. We want to look at anything that's getting in your way. And at the core of any and all stubborn clutter are limiting beliefs, unrealistic expectations, and the need for boundaries. And those three little buggers come into play in your life forever because we are always learning and evolving and growing. If we were ever done, we'd be dead, right? It's a spiritual journey, our lives. And so there's always a way to up-level, learn more about ourselves, heal deeper, rewrite beliefs that we formed when we were young but that we've outgrown. So it is an ever-evolving process. In this course, I want to teach you the foundational stuff that you can go back to and go, oh, okay, yeah, I see. I'm going to try this again. I'm going to try this journal prompt. I'm going to try this exercise. I'm going to take those tips that Carrie gave me about how to get good at getting started, and I'm going to use those to get the wheels in motion again. So this is a real kind of groundbreaking and intro course to my approach to clutter. In this course, I help you to reframe your definition of it. I don't want the word to hold such negative weight. I want it to just be a catch-all phrase for whatever's in your way. It's just clutter, and clutter can be cleared. And if you're struggling to clear it, there's a reason why. And I want to help you identify what that reason is. So the early bird pricing for this course ends tonight. Again, it starts Wednesday, April 20th, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. Pacific. We run for 6 weeks straight through. Lots of support in between the classes. But the early bird pricing ends tonight. And so if you've been thinking about it, if you're interested, now's the time to jump in. Save yourself some money. Why not, right? So I hope this was helpful. I just wanted to jump on quickly and talk about the course. I also, on that page, have an FAQ section at the bottom of that page for some of the common questions that people have about the course. How long should I plan to devote to it each week? 2 to 3 hours. How long do I have access to the course? Forever. It meets on Wednesdays, starting next Wednesday, April 20th at noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific. There's a private Facebook group for support in between. I'm trying to think of the other common. If you can't make the live lessons, it's okay. Replays are available within 24 hours. Those are the common questions I get. Will I have you be actually clearing physical clutter? Yes. Some of the assignments absolutely do that. But always with the deeper focus being how you felt before, during, and after. What messages were chattering in your brain? How were you trying to talk yourself out of doing it? That is where we're going to find all the clues and all of the answers to what's really going on underneath your struggle. So I hope this was helpful, and I really hope to see you in class. You can just go to carrierichardson.com, and there's a graphic right on my homepage that looks like this one that's on your screen. Click on that, and it'll bring you right to the page.